going around the table, do you consider yourself a feminist? Starting with you. Go ahead.
Oh, I will need a definition of that.
A lot of definitions going out
Unless somebody
tonight.
else
We
wants to
want
start
men
first.
and women to have equal rights.
Equality.
What type of rights? Like civil rights?
Jesus Christ.
All rights.
I don't want men and women to be equal, no.
Oh, you don't? Oh,
No,
okay.
not like that. Mm-mm. I think that's why we're attracted to each other, is because of our differences as well.
Oh,
Like I said, there's
okay,
got to
I
be
could-
some type of
I can
dynamic
get
going
behind
on.
that. I can get behind that. Okay. You.
I think for the most part, yeah. But there's some things I like a little more traditionally.
Okay, I'll come back to that. What about you?
I would say actually similar, feminist, but a lot of traditional values.
Okay.
The term feminism, like, it's not, I don't think it's as intersectional as, I don't know. I wouldn't consider myself a feminist. I think that, I don't think I'm more or less than a man. I don't think a man's like more or less than me. I think we're like yin and yang, but I mean, I think we need equality for women in other places. Women need more uplifting. So I do believe in some principles of feminism.
Okay.
But I wouldn't call myself a feminist.
If feminism is like equal or equality between men and women, then I would say yes, I'm a feminist.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm more so like equal opportunity
Okay.
than.
Sure. What about you?
I would say definitely not, only because the principles of feminism are not required, especially for anyone sitting at this table or anyone in this, like in our society at large.
Andrew, are you a feminist?
Well, not only am I not a feminist, but with the exception of the nice lady who brought cookies, all of you are feminists. Every single one of you is a feminist.
You think so?
Yeah.
How do you
Well,
tell me
because
what I am? I'm curious.
What would make me
How
more
do you-
feminist?
And I just want to say, not like that, but feminism came around a time like suffragettes and stuff when, like, I'm a black woman, so white girls weren't even working, and then they wanted to go back to working, so they're like, I want to be a feminist. But like me 200 years ago, like, that wasn't really the same. Like, feminism wasn't really the same for me, so that's why I don't identify with it. So I feel like, not like that, but I'm not a feminist because my people always been working.
Well,
so.
let's start with what you think feminism is.
Well, what do you think it is? You just called me a feminist.
Well, so I think I can demonstrate this pretty easy, right? But let's just start with what you think it is. What do you think it is?
I mean, feminism started as like women wanting to be equal, so wanting to be able to like get jobs, be able to like leave the house, go work, you know, have more rights.
So which of those values do you disagree with?
Well, I mean, I disagree with the idea that, well, like I just said, feminism was never really for me as a black woman because we've always been working. Like, we never had the option to like sit back and then decide like 50 years later that we wanted to go back to
Yeah, but which of the
working.
values that
I'm
you
answering
just
the
stated?
question.
Yeah.
Wait, if I can just add to what you're saying, very early feminism was actually very racist. So you actually
Yes.
do make a good
That's
point
why
that early feminism
I don't
was
call myself that.
they wanted I don't want to, I could be off here. I think they wanted to secure the vote for white women.
Yeah, Planned
But
Parenthood,
not-
all that stuff. Margaret Sanger, all of them, they were eugenicists. They were not for me. So
Okay.
for you to sit and tell me I'm a feminist, it genuinely, like, at the basis of feminism, it was never for me. So no, I'm
Yeah, but
I'm
which
not.
of the
Being her
values?
friend, I would like not call her a feminist.
Which of the
either.
values? then tell me
But
the
I
values
do
you
think-
disagree with.
I don't
Like,
think that
it's like,
you should.
just because I can work doesn't mean I want to. Like, someone fought for that right, and I'm like, good for them. They should go to work, but I don't really want to.
They could work before feminism came around. Where did this idea come from that women couldn't work before
Well,
there was
like, you couldn't have
feminism?
a credit card till like
Well, they
what, the
literally
70s?
couldn't.
No.
Like, they couldn't have been.
No, listen. Men were responsible for their wives' debts. They had to pay their wives' debts. So you, as the wife, could go to the local department store and you could buy whatever you wanted to on your husband's credit, and he had to pay the debt.
'Cause we didn't
You
work.
weren't responsible for the debt. So yes, while it's true that they wouldn't give women credit cards, they gave it to the man. The woman could still go spend as much as she wanted to and never was responsible for the debt in the marriage, ever. No debtors ever came for her. She was never responsible for any of it. So there's a give and take. Everything that you look at, so
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like the not feminist to me is like.
But the reason
who
you
fought
believe
for that
this,
to change?
the reason you believe this, and the reason you think that this is why the world works is because of what's called standpoint theory.
Standpoint
Theory. So what standpoint theory is it's a feminist theory which says that history, because it's subjective, women's history needs to be told only through the prism of a woman and how a woman thinks about it, rather than what's objectively true. So they'll leave stuff like that completely out. So I brought with me on my phone, I don't know if I can pull it out, but an old suffragette flyer, which was counter arguments to the people who were out trying to get the right to vote, right?
Okay.
And you can see the arguments then. Hey, if we get $1 million in inheritance, we don't have to share it with our husband. That was one of the arguments that was used against the suffragettes because it was true. And they weren't responsible for debt, and they didn't have any of these problems, right? So the standpoint theory kind of pollutes it. When you guys are talking about, the reason I ask you what do you think it is and then which values you disagree with, because all the values stated, I don't believe you disagree with them.
And why would you? Why would you think that you, based on the definition that you gave about what a feminist is, why would you disagree with anything that you said?
Okay, I'm talking about
like right now, feminism today, not
Right.
feminism
which is
during the
still-
suffrage movement. I don't
still
believe that's the same definition.
Okay, if it's not the same definition, I'm a little bit curious to know what you're. Again, I don't identify as a feminist.
No, I'm asking
but
based
I
on your
know
definition, what you gave when he asked.
why I don't identify
Yeah,
as a feminist.
like, what's
and
wrong
like
with
I
that?
just said, because first of all, the origins of the feminism.
Right, but we're not talking about the origins,
girl,
right?
I'm getting to your point.
Okay.
Let me talk.
Go ahead.
The origins of the feminist movement, I don't identify with them. So naturally, as it progresses, that's something that I don't identify with in name, but in practice, I don't think that, like, because you have a penis and I have a vagina, you're better than me or I'm better than you. I think we're equal. So feminism, I mean, if we're talking about when it started a long time ago, when women needed a little bit more protection, you needed a little bit more, like, we're compared to like women in the 1800s, like, we have it very good. Like,
That's
I
what
can
I'm
wear a
saying,
crop
though,
top.
like, the
So I'm
feminists-
saying that came out from a time when things were so much different. So for me to it came from such an extreme. Women needed a different type of feminism than whatever is needed today. And like, for me, there's women that are getting castrated and like, what is it called when you can't have babies? Mutilated. I don't have that problem. You don't have that problem. You don't have that problem. But
Baby boys
in
have
some
that problem,
places,
though.
I don't even agree with circumcision in baby boys. I think it's crazy, but that's neither here nor there. But in some places, there are some girls who need someone to stand up and say that just because you're a girl doesn't mean you have to be subjected to this. Does that mean I'm a feminist? I don't know. I don't identify with feminism because it was never for me. I don't have to label myself to feel my viewpoints. Like, I don't need like a big thing hanging
that's
over
fair.
it to
So,
define it.
but
it can be intersectional, which is
but
what I'm saying.
What she's saying, what her point is, and mine too, is to say that if the word, and we're saying the word means those same values that you state.
What does it mean to you?
Well, hang on.
I'm just curious.
Hang on, just let me finish. If
I
it
can tell you what
means
it
the
means to
same
me.
values that you state that you believe in, right? And then when we use the word feminism, it is to
Modest
describe
Kikima
you.
donated $200. Brixton, I think you and my bank are in cahoots somehow. Fool me once, I hope it still goes to you after you calling me out. Live the one, recent, cast I wasn't live. Mira, you want a 30k ring? Hashtag simp.
Yes, please, with an emerald.
So anyway, you can essentially call it whatever you want, but we're saying that when we say feminism, those same values and more values even than that, but just those same values
Grid
are what
1
we're referencing.
Motorsports donated $200. All on the right side of the panel have spewed anti-male rhetoric, abuse, cheating, so on. Yet you are all single, will likely remain so. Feminism has failed you. How can the patriarchy help you today?
Yo, Modest, thank you, man. Thank you, Grid One
Who
Motorsports.
promoted cheating or abuse? What?
Keep your hands to yourself, guys.
We were pretty much anti-abuse.
pretty much.
Okay.
I don't know about the
Wait.
anti-cheating. Because Yamani.
So, did you have something more, Andrew? or
Yeah, so
am
anyway, I
I-
was just saying, when we're applying the word, We're applying the word to mean all those things you said. So we're not talking past each other. You're just saying, I don't identify it based on this other value that I have, but you haven't really said what the value is.
I'm okay. And I'm very devil's advocate. So I'm not like against what you're saying, but I'm really trying to understand it would help me answer you if you told me what you define feminism as, because again,
Why do you need my definition to know your definition?
well, because you just called me a feminist, so I'm just
Yeah, but
curious.
why-
What
She doesn't think
I'm
she's a
just
feminist.
curious
But why
what
would-
you're
but
basing
listen,
that off
from
of.
a
And I'm
logical,
listening 'cause we're having
from a
a
logical
conversation.
perspective, you wouldn't need me to tell you the definition of a thing I asked you for a definition of to know your definition of the thing.
I feel like this is like, is it
Okay, so I'll
nihilism?
just tell you
Is
what,
that the
what
right
I
word
think
for it?
what I think
I'm
feminism
just asking
is.
because we're having
Feminism
a
to
conversation.
me, feminism to me, and feminism broadly, is the pushing of an egalitarian society based around the equality of men and women.
Is that the most generous definition that you give it?
That's the most generous one I could possibly give.
So